Welcome in episode 3 of Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ron Abernathy. And coach, we kind of previewed this week, last week, talking about how it was going to be kind of a Memphis sort of a weekend as you went to TCA playing these bigger, I don't want to necessarily say better schools because we are competing at a high level right now, but bigger schools that can maybe recruit a little differently. Humboldt can't really recruit. You just got to use what you've got in your school system. But obviously we've got athletes. They're going in there competing. Let's talk about the first game. Chattanooga Heights on a Friday night. You knew it was going to be a tall order to win that game. The score 90-53 doesn't really tell the tale. So I'm going to let you kind of describe what happened throughout that game.
Well, actually, we did compete very, very well. And
yes, sir.
Our intent is to play bigger and better teams so that we can get better. I personally don't think that you can learn anything from us beating people by 20 and 30 points.
Yeah.
For where we are trying to go. And Hamilton Heights was a great team. I believe they had 3 7-footers.
Yeah.
But our Fred and Stefan Shivers played well against them. They did not successfully stop Trail and Fred. Trail and Fred did a great job inside, and of course we did a good job the first half and third quarter. But when you play a team like that, the amount of talent and the level of talent will eventually wear you. And basically, thought that's what happened. And we got late. We kind of threw the ball away, and of course, you get that little spurt, and it makes it look like it was a real large margin, but that was not an indication of the game.
First quarter they outscore you only 24-21. Second quarter 17-10. Third quarter started kind of separating there, 30-12. Do you remember particularly what was it that caused their offense just to burst like that?
Well, their talent level comes in.
Okay.
They continue to hit the good open shots. We missed those shots.
Okay.
And then we added to it by turning the ball over unnecessarily.
Okay.
Unforced turnovers. And, of course, again, when you play a team like that, those things of the ball and possession and hitting big shots are precious to you. And we did not do that very well in the third quarter.
Have to play a flawless game to beat a team like Hamilton Heights. And then we go into Saturday, Rockvale, another great team. Able to hang in there first quarter. They were only leading 20-16, but that second quarter, Coach, the Vikings turned it on, and really, really, at the end of that quarter, I think we got an easy 6-0 run to close out that second quarter. I think 4 of those points came off of turnovers under our own basket where they were throwing it in, which is kind of your style of defense. Right. Get them off of kind of their normal throwing the ball in, can't get it in. A pretty good, solid first half for your Vikings there.
It was a very solid first half, and my coaches and I were very proud of how we performed the first half, especially against a team like Rockville. I believe they were 4A, I believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
it's a big school.
Yes, it is. And they are a big school because someone was telling me they got well over 1,000 students.
Yeah.
And so we did a pretty good job.
Yes, we did.
A very, very good job first half.
Now, we did miss some open layups, and when you're playing a good team like that, that's going to come back to bite you, and I think that's part of it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. What was the main thing that turned that tide in the second half? Because in the third quarter, they only outscored us 22-19. Right. It was all our game, in that fourth quarter.
It was, and we went ahead by 12. And, again, when you're playing a team like that, you got to hit the open shot.
Yeah.
And you can't turn the ball over unforced. And, again, we did the same thing both. And we missed a lot of layups.
We did.
Inside. And that's what cost us the lead and eventually the game.
What causes that? Is that just such a routine shot that sometimes you're not going through the mechanics like you normally would? Or?
A lot of times, you're battling.
Okay.
You rebound and you shooting. You rebound and you're shooting.
Yeah.
And you don't take your time to put it back. You're kind of rushing. You're trying to tip it in. And, of course, we ask, because we are so big, and Stefan and Fred, we asked them not to do it. But, of course, that's a futility question where they continue to do that. But we're working on not doing that because we are big, and nobody is going to nobody's going to block your shot.
I'm looking at the score from that game as well. Fred Moore had a game the week before with 33 points. Here he is back with 28 points. Shiver's still sticking in there with his average of 12 per game pretty much there in that Rockville game especially. And then Jeffrey Patterson adding 9 points in that loss. And I know it's not all about points. You've got complementary roles that are being played on that team. Is there a player that's kind of flying under the radar in your eyes right now that's not getting the attention that just because they're not putting points up?
Probably KD.
Okay.
Taylor.
Yeah.
He's only a sophomore.
Okay.
And he does a great job defensively. A good athlete.
Yes, sir.
And right now he's a starter.
Okay.
And he's one.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking ahead here, we travel to Crockett County coming up on Friday night. Let's talk that game, and then we'll talk the tournament first of next week. Just in case, I know it's a busy schedule that weekend, we may have to miss a week of this show because you're playing on a Monday night and Tuesday morning.
Yes, right.
So it might be that we don't get to record till like Wednesday or Thursday of next week, but we'll figure that out. So let's start with Crockett County. Crockett County came to Humboldt. You handed them a loss pretty easily. I say that carefully because I know you got players that watch.
Right.
But, how do you keep that team focused? Because you don't want to look past anybody. That's how you kind of end up with a Tennessee Titans-Miami loss last night.
Right.
Anybody can win.
Exactly. Well, again, where we are. I like where we are in that we're coming off of 2 losses.
Yes, sir.
So your mindset and your attitude is a little different as compared to we come off and we'd have won. Now you go into a Crockett County thinking you this and you're thinking you that and you're not.
Yeah.
Right now we need to win.
Yes, sir.
We need to win and we need to play well and so that we can continue to move forward.
It would be good to sweep the Crockett County Cavaliers on your schedule. Looking at that schedule, it gets nothing but tougher from here.
Right.
And speaking of tough, you've got a TCA tournament that's coming up here. Normally, I don't do both of these, looking aheads and looking back in the same segment. We'll talk some other stuff to end the program in a moment because I know we have Coach Ingram standing by. But looking at that tournament in Bradford, is this the same? This isn't the same tournament we played in last year. We played in Westview, I think it was.
Yeah, we played in Westview. Now,
okay.
This is a different one that's sponsored by Bradford.
Okay.
And again, we're going to be playing South Gibson, and that'll be a good game.
It's been a couple of years since we've played South Gibson.
Yes, it has. We actually played them home in a way until our incident happened, and then for whatever reason they were not playing us.
Yeah.
But we'll be playing South Gibson, which will be a great game.
The talent level over at South Gibson always stays good. They've got a great coaching staff, both girls and boys. But you'll be facing, obviously, the boys team this week. What stands out about South Gibson, the Hornets, that you'll face on Monday?
Well, they always have a great feeder program.
Okay.
Their 7th and 8th grade program stays plentiful, and then those guys move up, and they play together over the years consistently. Which makes you better.
And then on Tuesday, I should have had that schedule pulled up on me. Do you have right offhand who you're playing Tuesday morning? I know they've changed the time. You're playing Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock.
Westview.
Right.
So
that's maybe where I saw the Martin connection from what happened last year where we played in Martin.
Right.
And I think boys and girls played in that tournament, if my mind serves me correctly, last year. So you're playing a Westview team. That's another school that's bigger than us. They always have that top talent.
They do.
Football and basketball.
They do. It'll be another great game for us. Another situation and circumstance where we'll look to improve and look to get better.
Yes, sir.
Win or lose.
Now, is there a certain element of your game when you go into a tournament like that you focus on improvement on? I know, like you said, you don't want to blow teams out 20 and 30 points. You don't feel like you learn anything from that. Do you go into a certain game looking at their game plan and going, hey, I know their strengths and weaknesses. Here's something we can work on to get better, or you just try to play the game to win?
Well, we pretty much looking to improve on the things that we're trying to teach them.
Okay.
So that they stick over the long haul.
Sure.
We don't want nothing quick or nothing other than what we're playing for and with and how we're doing it. We're looking for execution. Sure. Over the long haul as opposed to short term. And so when you go into a tournament like this, we just want to work on the things that we want to work on,
sure,
things that we want to be good at over the long haul.
All right, we will come back here in just a moment. We're going to sit down with Coach Adrian Ingram, who is over the Freshman League as well as equipment, and he does a lot of the game planning through video and that kind of thing, so it's going to be a fun interview. And then when we come back, we'll get the scoop from you. No, I'm teasing. We'll talk to you at the end, and we'll see kind of how we want to wrap this show up. It's going to be a fun time. You don't want to go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back right after this.
Are you in search of a nurturing and educational environment for your little ones? Look no further than We Pray Learning Academy, located at 910 North Central Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. We offer our services to children aged 8 weeks to 12 years old. With our dedicated owners, Hannah and Doris Collins, you can rest assured knowing that your family is in good hands. To learn more about our academy and how we can best serve your child, reach out to us via email at weprayacad@yahoo.com or give us a call at 731-784-7294. We can't wait to meet you and your little Vikings.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Nothing brings community together quite like a sporting event. Security Bank and Trust Company is committed to supporting our local sports teams because we know how important it is to be part of a great team. This is Deanne McEwen at Security Bank and Trust Company. When you team up with us, you are fostering the competitive spirit of our local athletes. Want to be part of our team? Join our amazing banking community. Visit your nearest branch or head to securitybanktn.com to learn more. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back in to Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ron Abernathy. Obviously, this is not Coach Abernathy, but this is Coach Ingram, who is on his staff. And, Coach, when did you join his staff? Did you come the first year?
I came Coach Ab's second year, so I started here in 2015.
I knew you had been here quite a while.
Yes.
Very familiar face around Viking basketball, and you still show up. I know when you first got here, you were really helping a lot with the junior high boys.
Yes.
And you still got that at heart because you were all the way in Crockett County last night.
Oh, yeah, it's still in my heart. Following those guys around, making sure we got our young guys on the same page, get them ready for freshmen as well as varsity.
You know, it's so key, and this is something Coach Ab has done since he's been here, and I believe that's why we've had the success that we do, is you're instituting the same system, junior high, so that when they get to high school, it's not learning a whole new language,
right.
And it's key.
That's right. And by the time they get to high school, we're just fine-tuning some things, that we learned previously and let them go.
It's Coach Ab's words, not mine. You're the brain behind the operation here. He says, you're part of the scheduling. You do the scheduling. Why don't you walk us through what does a day in the life of Coach Ingram look like when it's in basketball season,
Well, for instance, like this Friday, we got Crockett County coming up.
Yeah.
Of course, we already have film from the previous time we played them.
Yes, sir.
But if not, I would have, try to find some film on them, get some scouting reports. Coach Butler, he's another one. He'll hit the road with us sometime and scout a little bit and bring it back to Coach Ab and drop the game plan, give it to the guys, and go at it in practice.
Now, you're also over equipment. What does that involve for every game? Just making sure everybody's got their cleats, or what is that?
Make sure everybody got their uniforms, the correct color undershirt, tights, shooting shirts, everything like that.
All right. You're also over Freshman League, and this may be the only time we get to really mention Freshman League because I know it's kind of one of those things that runs under the surface. Doesn't get a lot of spotlight, but it's so important. Why don't we talk about the value of that program first, and then we'll talk about how the season's going so far.
That Freshman League is very, very valuable for our program.
Yeah.
As it, like I said, it develops those young guys, gets them playing games. Like I said, we play 2 games each Saturday, and it develops them, get them ready for varsity play.
They haven't had any home games yet, but I hear that's about to change.
It's coming up this Saturday.
All right. What time does it happen on Saturday?
Kick off at 9 a.m. in the morning.
All right.
We got games at 9, 10, 11, and final games at 12.
Wow.
Because we got 3 teams coming in this weekend.
All right. So do you play in all those games, or how does that work?
No, like this week we got Gleason, Huntington, Gibson County.
Okay.
Our opponents this weekend will be Gleason and Huntington.
Okay.
We already played Gibson County last week, so try to get them a little break from us for a while.
Sure. Ticket prices, is all that through GoFan still for that as well, or how does that work?
Freshman League don't use GoFan.
Okay.
We pay at the door, which is $5 admission.
$5 admission, and concessions are open or no?
I think Coach Yarbrough did say concessions will be open this weekend.
All right. There you go. So Freshman League, let's talk about who you've got and how the season's going.
It's going great. So far, we're 4-0.
All right.
We kicked off December 2nd. We started off over there in Greenfield.
Mm-hmm.
We played Greenfield, Henry County. Then this past weekend, we went to Bradford.
Okay.
Played Bradford and Crockett County.
All right.
So,
all right. And, we talk about how valuable this program is. Probably the main goal is to keep from there being this main big drop-off. You want seniors on your team. Obviously, you don't want to necessarily have 5 seniors. It sometimes works out that way.
Yeah, it does.
But, it kind of helps keep the program from having that big drop-off, I guess, having this freshman league and you're already working with them there. Kind of a bridge between junior high and high school.
Exactly. Like I said, the freshman we have right now who's actually on varsity is Tyon Campbell.
Okay.
He's getting big minutes in freshman, and hopefully we're trying to give him some big minutes in varsity play as well.
Now let's talk about how that works, because you don't see Tyon Campbell out there right now.
No.
Because freshman league's not done.
Right.
But when that league ends, how does that work? You start working them in maybe from the bench, or
from the bench? Hopefully we start working him in and get him ready. Like I say, he's a freshman now. Then come his sophomore year, he'd be real big for us, produce real.
Is there a major benefit? Humboldt's one of those schools, and not everybody's blessed like this. Now, I did notice Crockett County last night as we were there. It's all on the same campus. You've got here in Humboldt, you've got one wing that is junior high.
Right.
The other wing is high school. Does that benefit an athletic program?
It does, because like I said, they all are here.
Yeah.
And if it's practice, you ain't got to wait, in between and get them over to another gym or anything like that. Just send them on down the hall and go to work.
When you came in 2015, had you been on other coaching staffs, or?
I was at Crockett County.
You was at Crockett County.
The middle
now,
school.
you said a while ago off air you played for Crockett
Right.
County.
I'm originally from Crockett County.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's going to be kind of a homecoming weekend this
I
weekend.
enjoy going over there and beating their butts.
Yeah. Uh-oh. No doubt on whose side the loyalties are on. That's for sure. Yeah. Coach, you talk about coming in, working with Coach Ab. What's that experience been like? I know he's sitting in the room, but I expect this answer. No matter what. But his caliber of coaching, the experience he brings here. What have you been able to glean from that, and what's it been like to work alongside him?
It's been great working with Coach Ab.
Yeah.
It's been a great journey. Like I said, this is my 9th year here, and I enjoyed being around him. You learn a lot. He teaches you a lot.
Sure.
And I'm soaking it all in.
So he's not just a coach. He also works a classroom, so he's a teacher in many different aspects.
Right.
We're sitting actually in his classroom every week doing this show. But Coach brings a lot of experience.
He does.
And, that's just a big benefit to a school like this.
Exactly.
So, well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time for us, and it's always fun. He's going to let us get to know each one of the coaches, and eventually we'll have some players in here as well. And good luck on the freshman league, and look forward to streaming the game on Friday night at your old alma mater.
Thank you.
Hey, Vikings fans. This is Ted Martin, former Humboldt Vikings quarterback and class of '93 graduate. When me and my fellow classmates want to follow Viking sports, we watch Viking News on Demand. In addition to live streaming of games, there are also plenty of specialty shows that keep us all involved in our alma mater. On behalf of the class of 1993, go Vikings!
Are you looking for a job in manufacturing or maintenance? Look no further than West Rock, located at 1720 North 9th Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. West Rock is not only proud to support the Humboldt Vikings, but they are also actively hiring. What's even better is there is no mandatory weekend overtime. The manufacturing position starting at a competitive $19.25 an hour, and the possibility for an increase to $19.83 an hour after just 60 days. West Rock offers a great opportunity for those interested in the field. If you have an experience as a maintenance technician, The pay ranges from $21.39 to $32.88, depending on your level of expertise. Don't wait any longer to get started on your application by visiting jobs.westrock.com. Join the West Rock team as we cheer on your team, the Humboldt Vikings.
Simmons Bank presents Banking Made Easy. With our powerful mobile banking app and online banking, at the touch of a finger, you can make deposits or pay bills, view account balances and transaction history, keep a close eye on your money with helpful alerts, even customize features just the way you want them. And with our contactless Visa credit and debit cards, you can just look, tap, and go. Convenient banking from Simmons Bank. Easy, fast, and secure. Learn more at simmonsbank.com/easy.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the ketchup that falls from the hot and juicy burger go to waste.
Jake from State Farm. I really want that personal price plan, so I'll admit it. I'm a bath bomb guy.
Dude, you do not need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan simply helps you create an affordable price just for you.
For real?
Who's ready for their jazz bath? No?
Who is that guy?
Jazz bath? Call or click to get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back in as we have just took our last commercial break of the show. And, Coach, I appreciate you giving access to Coach Ingram. He brings a wealth of knowledge, not just about Crockett County, but just the game. And he talked about, kind of being a pupil of yours, being under your coaching. And why don't you talk about from the teacher's standpoint? Ingram's always here. Every time I show up, he's here somewhere doing something, Yeah,
a tremendous asset. And like he said, he's been here 9 years, and each year has gotten better, and a tremendous asset. Again, I personally don't believe that you can have a good program doing it by yourself. And I think we are fortunate enough probably to have the best coaching staff in the state as far as basketball is concerned, and responsibility-wise. And I think we have the best. And I said, like he said, we've been here together a long time. This is my 10th year, and this is his 9th year.
Yeah.
And, of course, you will eventually meet Coach Butler, who's been here 10 years.
Yes.
So we've been able to work together very good for the success that we have now. And we have really been blessed to really be successful over this 10-year period. And I owe it all to Coach Adrian and my assistant coaches.
Yes, sir. Well, you're going to get to know them through this program, folks, because immediately when we started talking this program, Coach Abernathy was like, I want my other coaches to come on. I want the world to see, what you've been able to put together here and the assets that you have, because it's huge for a school this size to have this caliber of coaching staff.
And the other thing is a tremendous amount of work goes behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
To prepare us to get to game night. And these guys do an excellent job of preparation, game film, game plans, what we wear, how we look, pre-game warm-up. A tremendous amount. I always laugh, and, of course, we've overcome during the years, people making crazy remarks like, "Oh, Coach Abernathy don't know what he's doing." They don't know what they're doing, and I've told my staff I laugh because really you have to consider the source.
Yes, sir.
I will not apologize for my experience.
Sure.
I will not apologize to where I've been, and I will not apologize for our expectations for our program.
Sure.
Because we know what we're doing, and we enjoy what we're doing, and I feel blessed.
Yes, sir.
To be as successful as we've been here, I really feel blessed because there are a lot of coaches, Seth, and over my career I've met a lot of great coaches who coach as long as I have, and a lot of coaches have never won a championship.
Yeah.
And that's a real fact. That's a real reality, and I am so blessed. We are so blessed for continued success.
It says a lot about these coaches that are underneath you, too, because sometimes it feels like these coaches are just waiting on that moment where they can go be a head coach somewhere else.
Right.
And there's a major turnover in that coaching staff. And sometimes if you're not careful as a head coach, you kind of coach looking over your shoulder. Is this guy about to kick me out? But you don't feel that among these coaches.
No.
They've been here a long time. They love the jobs that they've got. And, I'm sure there's been some that have come calling, and yet they feel like Humboldt's the place for them.
Well, over the years, I've talked to them about different jobs and
Sure.
opportunities where people have called me and asked me about them, and of course I highly recommend them.
Yeah.
And I would never ever hold them back from advancing. But again, we've been blessed.
Yes, sir.
That my assistant coaches have enjoyed the tenure here with us together, being successful together. This year was a perfect example when we went to Murfreesboro, which was not expected.
Right.
One of the biggest, most joyous moments I had was after we had played the game, and Dr. Epperson said, well, look, y'all deserve it, so stay an extra day. And one of the biggest and most joyous moments I had was when myself and all my coaches were able to sit down with no pressure, no expectations, and be able to enjoy dinner, enjoy ourselves together, talking with no expectations, no pressure. It was a great experience for me and a great joy for me to sit down with them and not talk about basketball, talk about everything else.
Yeah, and that's a strong point too. You do better at your job when you're connected as families, and it's hard not to be. As much time as you guys spend together, right. I mean, it's hard not for it to bleed over into personal lives.
Exactly.
So you talk about all of your experience, and we'll close with this. You've been under Coach Brown at LSU. You've been a lot of different places. What makes Humboldt so special, to land in a small town like this?
Well, I always say this, Seth, and I always go over with my wife.
Sure.
She's actually from Tampa, Florida, and
wow.
we moved here from Florida, and anticipating that I would only be here a short period of time because I came to Jackson as the athletic director and the head boys basketball coach at Lane College.
That's right.
And in most cases, in most scenarios, if you do what I did at Lane that quickly, then you advance somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Because I took over a program that first year we won 6 games, and the next year we played for the championship of the SIAC to go to the NCAA tournament. The next year at 22-8.
Goodness.
And then, of course, the next year we won. And
usually
in those cases, you get a chance. I would have gotten a chance to I'll go to a bigger place, a bigger job.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, that did not happen. And I'm going to honestly say that I just believe that God wanted me here in Humboldt. And not only for basketball, for Lane and for Humboldt.
Yeah.
But, I had a son.
Yes, you did.
Who came through here as an honor student, as all district, all region, all state, MVP for the single A All-Star game, MVP for the BCAT state game. And, I look back on that as precious moments because my wife and I talk about it all the time. Had we been in a bigger place, had we been in a more varied place, we don't know that RJ would have been as successful as he was. But we were here, and besides being good at Humboldt, he was able to be successful and was able to raise our son in an honorable and a way that he was able to be successful at Humboldt.
Yeah. And he still loves the town and loves the city or school because he still shows up to practices. I see him every once in a while.
And he's a testament that it can be done at Humboldt.
Yeah.
And he came through as an honor student, came through as not only a basketball player but a baseball player.
Yeah.
And that was a real fruit.
Sure.
Real fruit of us staying here. So, I'm not complaining. So I'm just like, God got me where he wants me. When he wants me there, because I actually don't believe that he's through yet.
Yeah. Does RJ and Anthony and Trey, do they all still stay in contact quite a bit?
Stay in contact? That's an understatement.
Uh-oh.
Every year from time to time, they give us our biggest challenge.
Okay.
They come in and they scrimmage our team.
Well, good.
But they're around. They're around coaching and encouraging and supporting RJ, Trey Ward.
I hadn't seen Trey in a while.
Well, Trey was here last week.
Okay.
Trey was here last week.
Good.
And Anthony was here. Reggie was here.
Yeah.
Malik, Armstrong was here.
Wow.
And they played our team. It's the best we've looked it's the best we've looked, and because our players were juiced up to play those guys because they come in. But no, they're around quite a bit.
Good.
And they I know RJ calls Stefan on the phone, and they encourage them, so they're still a big part.
That's awesome. And, you know, that's key for a program like this, to still have those Viking for Life players that come back in. Right. You know, it does a lot on the college level, and people normally don't think about it on the high school level, but it really does. Right. You had, let's just say, for instance, you know, USJ just retired the jersey of Trey Smith, football player there that's playing for Kansas City. It does a lot for those kids to see that, you know what, just because you're from a small town doesn't mean you can't be successful. No. And it gives them something to aim for.
It does, you know, because right now, in my classroom, when kids come in and they see a picture of Shaq, kids are still just now finding out after 10 years that I recruited and coached Shaquille O'Neal.
Isn't that something?
And they just finding it out. I had a student who's doing a special project the other day. He come in and he had this big old smile on his face. Nick, our wide receiver, who came in and had a poster project, and he came in with this big old smile. Coach, look at this. You won't believe it. And I looked at it. And as one of his poster pictures, he had a picture of him and Shaq. Oh. When Shaq came, he was in the 6th grade. And the first words I used as Coach, how did Shaq get here? And then one of the kids in class said, boy, Coach coached him, and he did not know that.
Isn't that something?
After all this time, his mother's our scorekeeper. And he has a picture of him and Shaq together when he came here and did the basketball camp at Stegall.
Yeah.
And he was like just amazed that I knew Shaq. And I said, you just not. He said, I'm going to Google you. So, he Googled and saw it. But no, it's a tremendous asset.
Yeah. And had you not come to Humboldt, that's just one story. That's just one story. It's unreal.
Yeah, definitely. Shaq did not know where Humboldt was.
No. Never will forget his speech that night. Sometimes you see those guys and you think, oh, that's all camera.
Yeah.
But getting to talk to him on the side, I mean, he's one of those guys. He is the same on camera and off camera. He's just hilarious.
Yes, he is.
Just a great guy.
Did a great job that
Yes,
night.
he did.
Did a great job.
Raised a lot of money for Humboldt and helped us a lot,
A lot.
So, well, Coach, I always enjoy this show. We may get into some of those stories. I know it just kind of organically happens, but believe it or not, folks, we don't plan this thing out. We just know who's going to be here, and then we go from there. But I appreciate you taking time for us. Next week, I know the schedule's different. We'll figure that out. We'll release it online as well when we will be dropping the next show. I know this is Tuesday night instead of Monday night. Schedules didn't quite work out yesterday, and then I had to go straight from a funeral yesterday, change clothes, and get to that junior high game so I could get some pictures. But we'll work out next week, figure it out. And as the season progresses, we'll keep sharing with you. I know I've got Viking graduates that watch, and they've moved off, whatever. Right. And this is how they keep up with their school. And so we'll definitely keep folks up to date on what's taking place with the program here.
Well, you'll be happy to know
yes, sir,
that I did get a call from Dale Brown in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Here we go.
Who picked up our show.
Yes, sir.
He thought you was great.
Well, that means great. A lot coming from him, I tell you.
He was great. He thought you did a great job, and he asked me, are you going to be able to keep him?
Oh, well, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So
Sure did. After I talked with him this morning.
Yeah.
He called to wish me happy birthday.
That's awesome.
And so he called, and he actually and he talked. He had seen the show in Baton Rouge, and I have people who have seen your show in Maryland, and in Tampa, Florida, and Kentucky.
Wow, that's unreal. You never know who's watching when you start broadcasting online. You just never know. And by the way, your birthday's tomorrow, so we want to make sure and say happy birthday today.
And Coach Butler.
Coach Butler.
Birthday is tomorrow.
So you have the same birthday.
We have the same birthday.
How crazy is that? Wow.
Yes, we do.
That's amazing.
Yes, we do.
Well, thank you again, Coach. We look forward to the program each week. We'll be back next week with you.
Thank you, sir.